Hello and welcome to episode 147, entitled The Art of Storytelling. I'm a speechwriter, and I learned very early on that storytelling is very important in a speech. Why is that? My name is Gary Vierheller, and I'll be your host for what we call the Substance of Living podcast. Today, we'll look at what we call life's lessons. And I hope this will provide you with some insight, maybe even some inspiration to life's challenges. We've all had the misfortune of experiencing a bad speech. It's boring. It seems like it's going to go on forever. The speaker has low energy. He's not personally involved. So what's a flip of that? A speaker who is personally involved, who does have the excitement of the experience and wants to share that story with you. Let me give you an example. I work with Dr. Mamoru Mori. He's Japan's first astronaut. On his second space shuttle mission, one of his missions was to take continual HD videos of the Earth as they orbit. Now he had at that time, the newest HD camera available from Sony, very heavy, but in microgravity was very light. So he was taking a video of Earth as Earth is rotating under them and they're going around Earth. And he was shooting, and another astronaut floats up to the portal and says, "Hey, Mori-san, isn't that Japan?" Mori-san said, "Where? Where is that? Where? Over on the left there." "Yes," and he starts to zoom in. Now the camera's videotaping this whole thing, including the audio, and he's, "Yes, oh look, there's Hokkaido, that's the island where I was born. Oh, and there's Mount Fuji, oh that's beautiful, look at that, that's my home, that's Japan." It still brings a smile, because he was so invested. He was so dedicated to doing the job, and then when he discovered he was experiencing something that touched his heart, he was like a boy who discovered ice cream. It was just wonderful. So people want to hear your story. People want to know how you see the world. For example, I learned this the hard way. I had to give a speech at a high school. And high school students are not interested in facts and figures. They want to hear your story. I didn't realize that. And it was a disaster. Yet, years later, when I went to Moscow and gave a speech, I started off the speech by saying, "My name is Gary Vierheller. I'm from the United States. I represent the National Museum of Emerging Science and Innovation in Japan, a Japanese science museum, and I'm here in Moscow." How does that happen? I had the audience. And then I began to tell them my story and why I was speaking to them that day. So remember, the audience wants to see the world through your eyes. The audience wants to experience what you've experienced and learn from you. So show them, tell them. And by doing that, you will bring life, energy, and generate interest in the audience. So good luck. Tell them your story. Bye. Thank you for joining us today for the Substance of Living podcast. If you'd be kind enough to consider subscribing, you can contact us through Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Join us again next time for what I hope will help you navigate life.